Cruise news time. Well, another story of a family denied boarding for their Thanksgiving cruise, and this time it's got nothing to do with kids. It's more like a Shakespearean tragedy. You know, what's in a name, a rose by any other name smells just as sweet. Well, what if your vaccine has the wrong name? And what if you got a weird looking vaccine card? Family denied boarding on a cruise because of this vaccine card right here. Cruise news. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news updates. Well, it's December the 10th, Friday, December the 10th. This is my last day on the Norwegian Joy, a sea day. We're making our way back to Miami. Let me just say, this week has been fantastic. My first experience on Norwegian Cruise Line, really eye-opening and really giving me a thirst to go on more Norwegian ships. I'll have more to say about it, but it's been a really great week with Jenny and our friends Sal and Charlotte. But yeah, it's been a cool place to work. It's been a cool place to relax. And last sea day. But let's talk about this story. So we know that on November the 8th, the United States opened up the borders to international travel. This opened up the cruise lines to more international travelers. And so we see some complexity coming into play here. This is the story of Stephen DeLiesel and his family. Now, Stephen DeLiesel and his wife, they live in Sweden, and they plan to come to the United States and cruise on the Carnival Mardi Gras on Thanksgiving, and they were going to do that with one of their children and their child's fiance who live in the United States. So we got two people that live in Sweden. We've got two people that live in the United States. The other level of complexity here is that Stephen worked in China all summer, and he got his vaccines in China. So like I showed you, his vaccination card is all in Chinese. So he brought all that documentation over to the United States. He did all the appropriate COVID testing. He went to board the Carnival Mardi Gras, and this is when a process started where they went through the whole boarding process, but they were kind of held out of line as they looked to approve their documentation. And a few hours into waiting for their documentation to be approved, Stephen was told that they could not board the Carnival Mardi Gras because he did not have a valid vaccine. And then everybody else in his group was given a document saying that they could not board because somebody in their group had tested positive for COVID. But yet they'd all presented negative COVID tests. It really hinged around this vaccine card. And so they were denied boarding, they were denied refund, and to add insult to injury, they weren't able to get their luggage off of the cruise ship. They'd given it to the porter, and the ship left before they could find their luggage. And so this family who had planned this Thanksgiving vacation on the Mardi Gras now had no cruise, no refund, and no luggage, all because they said that this guy did not have a proper vaccination. Now, the DeLiesel family had reached out to Elliott Advocacy. We've highlighted Elliott Advocacy before because they've worked on some of these other denied boarding situations. And so he reached out to Elliott Advocacy with the idea that it wasn't quite right. He knew that he was fully vaccinated. And so the folks over at Elliott Advocacy started examining the documentation, and they noticed that the name of the vaccine on Stephen's vaccination card is Vero, V-E-R-O. Now, if you look at the list of approved vaccines from the CDC, from the World Health Organization, Vero is not one of them because Vero is a brand name. And this is a brand name that was developed in China. And again, you got to remember, Stephen got his vaccinations in China. Now, interestingly, Vero is a form of Sinopharm. The vaccine Sinopharm. It's the same formulation. It's a kind of an alias, and also known as. And as they did the investigation, they noticed that on Carnival's website, there are a list of approved vaccines, and then also a list of their as known as the aliases. And when it comes to Sinopharm, there was a blank on the website where it should have been Vero. And so after going through all of this process, examining the case, Elliott Advocacy sent an email to Carnival. And the email said, look, I believe you denied this family boarding in error, that you should have accepted this vaccine because Vero is the same thing as Sinopharm, and Sinopharm is on the approved list from the World Health Organization. Could you please reconsider so that they could get a refund, some sort of compensation for missing their cruise? And this is what Carnival said. But before I get there, let me quickly invite you to subscribe if you'd like to stay up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. So Carnival reviews all the information that the Elliott Advocacy Group sent to them, and they come back and they said, you know what? You're right. We missed it. Vero is the alias for Sinopharm, and this family should not have been denied boarding, and we will issue them a refund. Now, the family's still a little bit upset about being denied boarding. They've asked for probably a little more than just a regular refund, and as noted in the Elliott Advocacy Group article, Elliott Advocacy stepped out at the point of negotiating what the compensation will be for missing their cruise. But yeah, while it's hard to believe, something as simple as a mismatch vaccine name really kind of threw a monkey wrench in international travel plans. This couple traveling from Sweden, getting ready for their vacation, only to be denied and to lose their luggage on top of that. So it's a cautionary tale that when you're cruising right now here in the end of 2021 and going into 2022, that you got to make sure that your ducks are in a row, that you got to have all the bases covered. And I guess if you've got a weird vaccination record with a a not so well known vaccine, that you need to make sure that you can articulate that your Vero vaccine is Sinopharm. Not that they would have been able to do anything at the port, but at least they would have had some sort of idea why they were being denied. I know I beat the drum a lot that the responsibility lies on the traveler to make sure that they have everything in line, but I don't know what this family could have done any different than what they did. But a wild tale, boom, that's your cruise news for today. Just thought I would tell you another story of a family being denied. It doesn't dissuade me from cruising, but interesting nonetheless. So what do you think about this? Leave a comment below. Thanks so much for checking out the show today. Please show your support by hitting the like button. This is Tony with Lido, Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.